everyone, I'm Danielle from Cageless Readings. So today's pick a card reading, we're leaving it pretty open. I just set the intention that whatever your guides wanted you to know today would come through. I was focusing more from one specific guide for each pile. So pile 1 is this pink Calcite card. Maybe I'll bring it up here so you can see it a little bit better. Pile 2 is this Chrysoprase stone. Pile 3 is this green moss agate card. So I've decided to infuse this card reading with Reiki energy so that you can just feel a little more supported, encouraged, and lighter at the end of this card reading. So it is always up to you to choose to receive it or not. You don't have to. If you do want to, just affirm in some way. All right, if you've never done a pick a card reading before, what you want to do is just ground yourself before choosing a pile. It helps you resonate with the messages and really connect with your intuition during the card selection and during the actual card reading. So you can do that by either taking 4 deep breaths or visualizing roots growing down from your feet all the way into Mother Earth. And then you just ask yourself which pile has a message for you, and just take some time looking at each pile. If one just is catching your eye or calling out to you more than the other, then just go with that one. Sometimes there is more than one card that will feel right to choose. It's totally okay. Go ahead and choose both. And then sometimes people like to look at the timestamp and look at the numbers, and that will stand out for them. All right, so go ahead and choose your piles, and I'll see you all in your card readings. Hello, pile 1. You all chose the pink Calcite card. I know pink Calcite for being good for helping us have more compassion for ourselves, helping us overcome self-criticism or self-blame. It also helps us find the motivation or the encouragement to act less selflessly and do more charitable work. So I don't know if any of those things have been on your mind, but that could be why you were feeling a little called to this crystal itself. So, you know what, let's just put them all out and then see what is coming through. You know what, I like that more. Okay, pile 1. So you had chosen the Archangel Michael message pile. So this is his deck here. And I am noticing a little bit of a main theme coming up. So Archangel Michael, I find, comes forward a lot when we are being our own worst enemies. For me, it's usually if it's like self-doubt, which is causing self-sabotage, or anxiety, which is causing disharmony. And he is the angel of protection. But I find often he comes forward when we are needing kind of protection from our own negative thoughts. So what I mean by this is, so if you saw here, it says positive thoughts create positive results. You are the image maker. What you focus on manifests. What thoughts patterns do you need to shift? Here it says, treat yourself with kindness, cultivate loving friends, family, environment. Do you need more sweetness in your life? Are you gentle with yourself in your words and thoughts? So a lot of the energy I'm getting off of this is that there's a lot of anxiety for this pile right now. And I do have to clarify, this might not be a pile where a person has always had self-doubt and anxiety. I think some of you are going through a lot of transitions and you're starting to find yourself more anxious than normal. Being harder on yourself. Like they feel like there's a lot of pressure around timelines, a lot of pressure around like deadlines. Some of you might be moving. Some of you might be trying to find a new place to move. Some of you might, I feel like some people have kids in this pile, and there's a lot of concern around the child and just maybe if it's a moving situation with how they're doing right now, maybe emotionally they're harder to deal with than normal, or they're having like emotional outbursts, something around routine not being regular for them. So really everything I'm getting from this pal, what Archangel Michael wants you to know, one, that he's here to help. That's the big one, that he's like really saying like, I'm always here. I'm always sending you love and care and protection. And I get that he's saying like, don't worry for your, like, don't worry that the worst case scenario is going to happen. Don't tell yourself that you're not doing enough or you're not figuring it out fast enough. Really, he just has this energy of just love and acceptance. And I just feel him encompassing this pile with that energy, but slowing things down and creating this space where you feel safe, loved, and supported. And I think that's a little bit of what you're lacking right now is feeling safe, secure, and supported, because all this anxiety is coming up more, I think, because of insecurity around the near future or what's coming your way or things being out of your control. So I do have to really comment here on the positive thoughts because it came up twice. And what I was saying around sometimes our self-doubts can be self-sabotaging. How do I put this? As this card says here, you are the image maker. What you focus on manifests. I see it as the situation ahead of you, or situations that can be occurring right now. Say there's a delay in a response or a delay in communication or an answer back from someone, and you're starting to think worst case scenario. Maybe you didn't word things right. Maybe they just, I feel like it kind of goes down this negative spiral where it's like, well, maybe it's because they don't like you. Maybe it's because they don't want to help you out. Maybe it's because like there's just so many different reasons that could be coming up in your head. But I think what they're saying is the more you go down into that like storyline and those self-doubts and that anxiety and that worry, the more it turns itself into this whole other story and reality about what's happening versus what's really happening. And it doesn't have to be just on that, but they're just saying when you focus so much on maybe why it's not going to work out, why it can't be that easy is going to be exactly why it's not going to work out. I always try to word this very delicately. I really, truly believe in manifestation. And I believe when we don't get what we want to manifest in, it's usually because of our subconscious thoughts and sometimes even our conscious thoughts around not being worthy of them, things never working out for us, having to learn things the hard way. If you've said things like, things never work out for me, or I'm very unlucky, all those kind of things create this reality that we are going to experience. And I think for you, there's not like this intentional thought process of this. This is kind of what Michael is saying. He's saying that you're very hard on yourself. You have these very high expectations for yourself, and try to watch the unintentional thoughts that can follow you. Like if you did a work project or you did something, and if everyone else around you is telling you that it's great and you're beating yourself up about it, then this is where this message is coming through, where it's like, you did an amazing job. Everyone thinks you did amazing. It's just, you now being hard on yourself. I hope I'm making this point clear, because just with how this pile is, I don't want you to think that you're failing, you're doing something bad. Really what it's saying is that you're so amazing and you're so great and you're doing the best that you can, and you bring so much light into this world and you do so many wonderful things, but you just are not doing that for yourself. You're not being that supportive teammate that you can be for other people, for yourself. You're not being that optimist for yourself. You're just being it for others. And Archangel Michael, like I said, really comes forward, in my experience, when we almost need protection from our own thoughts, when he wants to protect us from our own self-sabotage around how we're seeing ourselves, how we're treating ourselves. And the energy he really does, I know I've said this once already, but I want to really reiterate it. He steps forward with this just unconditional love of, he just encompasses us with it so that we know that we're worthy of it and we are deserving of that love, even though sometimes we don't think we are, or we let ourselves believe that we aren't. And that's the main reason why I think he's so good at coming forward when we're hard on ourselves, because his love is just so unconditional and very all-encompassing. So then the other thing I was just really getting from this card over here, or even this one too, about balance and clearing the thoughts, that was really adamant here actually as well. And this pile might really be connected to nature. I see a lot of like fairy energy here, and fairy energy is all about having fun and being playful and just loving ourselves and experiencing love. And I feel like that could be a little bit why they're coming around you right now, is they're really trying to help support you. They're really trying to help support you and help clear out this doubt energy that you might be stuck in. And like I said, I really feel like for this pile, this might be more of like an old pattern that you have worked more or less out of, but because there's a sense of insecurity, of change, or being out of control in your life right now, I think that's why it's flaring up again. So, so I wanted just to say here, little message from Archangel Michael. It says, you and your loved ones are safe. And how I see this image is I see Archangel Michael as literally like keeping the fires at bay, so to speak. Okay, sorry. As I was saying about chaos, in this card I see like a lot of chaos. I feel like I see a lot of these like outside factors out of control, and I literally see Archangel Michael in the center of it and keeping like the fire at bay, keeping like the rolling ball that you don't know what's gonna happen at bay, keeping like unforeseen threats at bay. And then I see that he's just paying attention to, like, I see like this balance sign as you. Maybe I'll show that a little bit closer. So it's like kind of like a Libra sign. Maybe you are a Libra, or you have like a moon in Libra or something. I'm not too sure. It might not even mean anything, but I just see like this literally is all this chaos is happening around you. And I see Archangel Michael is just keeping you protectively in his like hand. And he's fighting off anything that could be a threat to you, that could be unsafe to you. And trying to make your life as able to be in balance as possible for you. So I just feel like that's definitely an important message that he's really trying to reiterate, that although there's like all this chaos, he is there supporting you and helping you out. And if you feel overwhelmed, to maybe even consider saying what he had said on this card. So it's like a little prayer to him. And it says, "Dear Archangel Michael, thank you for watching over me and my loved ones. Please help me feel secure and at peace, and fill me with faith so that I may focus on my priorities and enjoy a healthful, happy life." Or you can honestly just say anything like, "Thank you, Archangel Michael, for keeping me safe," and just leave it at that. He's saying every time that you start to have doubt, or you start to assume worst case scenario, what you can do I feel like just because I feel like this pile is parents or are around children a lot, to essentially speak to yourself like you would to your child if they were afraid of a monster under their bed or something along those lines. Or if you could even, if you don't have a child, if you can picture how would you comfort a child who was scared to go to bed because they thought there was a monster under their bed. That's how Archangel Michael wants you to treat yourself, gently, kindly. When you're afraid, to say, it's okay, I've got you. We're going to get through this. You're amazing. You're so brave. You're so strong. This experience is just going to work out for you. It always does. And it might sound silly, but I think he's actually quite saying like this is going to help your anxiety a lot, because right now you might be dismissing it, or you might be letting it go a little bit wild within you. I feel like both scenarios happen, either where you're like, oh, I'm overwhelmed, but I don't know what to do. And I feel like if you're one of the people who have children, I feel like I see this child like screaming and crying and having a tantrum, because I feel like for this child, there's something about the routine that's been broken, and it's really creating chaos in its life. And then I see like just other factors in your life, just like having a hard time getting people to communicate back with you, maybe changing business or housing, and it's just a lot of work right now for you. I'm so sorry if you chose this pile and you're experiencing that. But I just have to really reiterate that Archangel Michael is coming through to help support you in this. I also just want to read this card here. It says, take time making this decision. And the prayer that the prayer on this card says, Archangel Michael, please help me stay strong and relaxed as I approach this situation. Remind me to detach and step back, allowing the situation to naturally unfold. Thank you for protecting me. Yeah, really like that. So definitely a lot of support for you from Michael during this chaotic time in your life. But you're going to get through it. It's not going to last forever. Everything ends. Everything changes. It will be okay. So Angel of Kindness. This is an affirmation you can say if you like. And it says, I am blessed with nurturing vibrations wherever I go. I am gentle with myself. I recognize that kind-heartedness brings about better life situations. I am kind and compassionate with myself and others. I enjoy loving relationships. So this affirmation is really good in the sense that it will also help with that manifestation and like manifesting and creating the positive stories, the best outcomes situations in your life. Because like I said, if you do manifestation work and you're like, why is nothing working and everything's chaos? What I'm getting is, once again, just like that self-doubt, that self-sabotage coming in, and it's like messing with the positivity that you've put out there. It's almost like creating this confusing frequency for the universe, because they're like, it's picking up those emotions of anxiety and stress and self-doubt. It's essentially reflecting them back at you. So that is maybe why it's feeling a little chaotic. So the best way to change that is, like they said, Archangel Michael is just coming forward and saying, like, though it is hard because everything's chaotic, just, I feel like his main thing he wanted you to know is to just, if you could work on one thing right now, is how you're speaking to yourself, how you see your deservingness. And just, if you're feeling overwhelmed, tell yourself, like, everything always works out best for me. Everything always works out for me for my highest good. And it might sound so cheesy, but he's suggesting it and I'm just repeating it. And just also knowing and asking and trusting that he's helping you. He's trying to make sure that despite the chaos, you are staying as safe as possible and trying to bring as much balance into your life as he can. Lots going on for this pile. Lots going on. There's so many changes for you. It's really cool, but I'm sure also a lot right now. And then definitely around this, just as a last little message, if some of you are trying to make a decision, I think around this child or around moving or where to move, I think this is where it's coming in for taking your time making the decision and really trusting your intuition around it. Not going so much off of logically what you can like make sense of, but what I'm really seeing here, like just with how much purple is in this card, is it's saying just really follow your intuition on what's right. Follow that gut knowing, that divine guidance that you're receiving, and what's best for you and your family. I think that's actually all I have for you all from these cards. Best of luck during this change. I'm not sure if all of you are going through a lot of change and shifts, but I just see like whatever's happening around this pile, there's just a lot of chaos or insecurity in the situations that you're in. So I just wish you the best of luck, and don't forget to ask Archangel Michael for help if you're feeling overwhelmed. You're a beautiful, amazing soul, so just remember that, and remember to be kind to yourselves because you deserve it. Hello, pile 2. You chose the Chrysoprase card. And one of the reasons why you might have been drawn to this stone is it's really good for new beginnings, starting over. It helps improve emotional health. It promotes forgiveness, self-growth, and self-love. So it actually helps the body promote releasing poisons or toxins. So if you've been feeling like any of those things, that might be one of the reasons why you were drawn to this card. I'm just gonna put them all down and we'll get into what you got. Okay, so the cards that you picked were from Angels and Ancestors deck. As soon as I picked this pile, sometimes can't enunciate words very well. Okay, let's see what's going on here for you all and what does your guides want you to know. So I actually believe the messages coming through is from an ancestor of yours. And I'm not sure if you can quite read this, but this card here says, do you have a broken heart? Are you feeling unloved? Take time to nurture yourself and know you are loved by the divine. Open your heart and have more compassion for yourself and others. Take a long bath and drink plenty of water to nourish yourself. So I know it says, do you have a broken heart? I don't think necessarily that this pile has just gone through a breakup. I feel like you might be in a place right now where you don't perhaps have friends that you're feeling very supported and loved by. You might not be in a place, in a great place with family members right now. You might have physical distance between them. If you are close with them, you're just physically distant, and therefore it's created a bit of distance in the relationship. Or you, like I said, just don't have a great, loving, supportive relationship with your family. And I feel like maybe you're feeling a little undermined or unappreciated at work. Like maybe you go to work and you give it the best that you can, you do the best that you can offer, and it's not necessarily acknowledged or appreciated, and you're just feeling kind of overall a little drained and a little like lacking in love and support overall for this pile is how I'm seeing it. It's just really needing more connectedness and just love. You're just needing to feel more loved. So what is coming through from your ancestor in this pile? And actually, one thing I want to comment on, so where I am right now, it is still spring, but I have the impression that if you're watching this, it's very possible that it is autumn where you are. Where you are in the planet, it could be not spring, but your autumn. And I also get the impressions that if you're not watching this as it comes out, you might just happen to find this card reading when it is autumn for you or coming into autumn. Because I see how this is talking about, you're feeling this just deep desire and true need and a lack in love. And I'm seeing here how it's saying this is your time to I don't want to say it, not look outside of yourself for this love, because 100% you deserve to feel this love from others and to have a loving family and to have loving and appreciative friends and partners and co-workers. But what this is saying here is it's really time to create a radical change. And I think it's in the way that you see yourself, in the way that you give yourself love. So I almost see like your ancestors saying, if you can learn to love yourself and to just go and like, I just see dancing here. Like I feel like very free spirited people, like going outside and dancing like no one's watching and just being in nature and essentially like connecting with it through dance. Or a lot of nature energy for sure. I feel like that's very healing for you. That's where you're going to remember you're connected and you are part of everything. That you're not alone, that you are part of this like greater oneness. And I feel like just with like the trees, you know, they are all connected to each other through their roots. And that just feels really good. The mountains are all interconnected as well, just like trees are. Technically, we all are, but we can see that in trees and in mountains. And I just feel like that's where you need to go. Like you really need to change. I see radical change. I literally see like change who you're being. If you are not happy where you are and you're feeling lonely and your life is like too secure, it's too routine, there's no changing variable factor, this is the time for change. Like it says, release the old and get rid of what's no longer serving you. Rest when you need rest. I, for some reason, see drinking lots of tea and soup. That's a little bit random, but I feel like that's important for some of you. Is tea and soup, warming the soul. And just, like this, like really coming into yourself and really transforming the way you see yourself, loving yourself. I don't know, dancing feels so important. I know I keep saying that, but it's almost like I'm not saying quite the right way about it. Like dancing in a way just to express how your body is feeling. Maybe that's what it is. Like I just see someone almost like closing their eyes and feeling their emotions and then expressing it through dance. And that will help like get rid of like pain, stuck emotions, any stagnant energy that might be stuck in like the hips or in the low back. Like I just see literally you dancing it out and expressing that emotion, feeling that emotion and freeing yourself of that emotion. And then the whole unlock magic within. Yeah, I definitely don't have any doubts that if whoever picked this pile, like I think it's in like your ancestral line to be spiritually gifted, to be psychic, to be naturally good at understanding some spiritual concepts. So maybe you're naturally good at astrology. Like maybe you can just look at astrology and somehow know and understand it. I think it's because it's something that literally is in your DNA to be good at. It could also be with understanding sacred geometry. You might just understand it. You might just look at it and have like a deeper knowing what it means and how to use it and how everything's connected to it. It could be around reading tarot cards. It could be around herbal remedies, actually. So that's one that's definitely coming through, herbal remedies. You might just be, that could even be why they're talking about the tea and soups, because I feel like you might know a little bit of plant medicine through your, like I said, heritage. Like you might not even be conscious of this. This could just be very intuitive. But if it resonates, just trust that and go with that. And I'm sorry, is it like another secondary message is coming through? I mean, I don't ever want to say like to encourage anything or say that one should do anything that isn't legal in their country or wherever they're from, but I do get a little bit of a message for someone here who may have been considering taking a form of plant medicine to journey deeper within themselves, to understand themselves better. If that is something you've already been thinking about, I am seeing that as a confirmation message. Once again, I'm just going to reiterate that I do not recommend doing anything that's illegal in your country or is not safe, but that is a message coming through for someone if it's something you've been thinking about. For the Unlock the Magic Within card. And then Trust the Unknown Skyfather card. This one is so intriguing to me. I also can't help but notice that there's two birds. I feel like there's a lot of people in this world who get a lot of birds for messages. And it's funny because a lot of us don't really know off the tops of our heads a lot of bird spiritual meanings, but there seems to be a lot out there. So when I see the eagle, I usually associate it with like a greater spiritual awakening. And I also see it as like a waking up of your spiritual gifts. And I just truly believe for this pile that there's just so much, I don't know if psychic is the right word, but psychic abilities that are just like you might already be very psychic, but I believe they're going to get stronger. Like I just feel like there's just this natural lineage within you, this natural like passed down skill in your DNA around psychic specific, being very psychic. And then, yeah, just very powerful. Whatever it is that you're doing spiritual gift wise, just there's a lot of power there, and there's a lot of previous history in your ancestral line. I don't know if they all would have been open about it, but it's definitely something that your DNA line is very gifted in. And then just maybe as one of the last messages here, with this Trust in the Unknown card, a lot like pile 1 got, there's a little bit of an energy of needing to get out of your own way a little bit. So if you're trying to understand exactly how everything's going to come into your life, how everything's going to unfold or work out, sometimes we can get in our own way of what's coming in. So when I see this card come through, I see that to just be okay with not being completely in control. Like take the step back and just be open to the universe bringing it in whatever cool and amazing way it's going to. And I also see that card coming forward when the universe is trying to bring in what we're desiring and wanting, but we're stepping in the way of it. So it's definitely a confirmation at the same time that what you've been asking for, what you've been wanting is coming in. It is on its way. You just need to remove yourself from the needing to control that and just receiving and being open and trusting it. Always easier said than done, I know, but it's coming forward, so I have to say it. Okay, I want to read the affirmation on the back of this card. So, Angel of Nurturing. I am cared for, loved, and appreciated. My heart is open. I allow love to fill me up, body, mind, and soul. I willingly nurture myself and others who truly need and want my nurturing. Beautiful. And I think in this case, it's nurturing yourself, nurturing you. Okay, I think that's all I have for you. Best of luck on your journey. It seems like you have a lot of things ahead of you and a lot of deep exploration of self and so much learning ahead, but also so many spiritual gifts that are just going to be absolutely amazing that I think you're only just scratching the surface of. All right, you all have a great day. Best of luck, and I'll see you around. Hello, Pile 1. You all chose this green moss agate card. Last week's reading, there was a green moss agate card, but it was from a different deck, so I had me thinking about that a little bit. So maybe some of you chose this pile because you had that pile last time. And then you also were the only pile that also got a second crystal, and this one's black obsidian. And it says, have you been feeling scattered lately? Are you unable to focus on what's important? Okay, I'm just going to put the cards down, and then we will get into the messages that your guide wanted to share with you. So you also have chosen the dragon card deck, just so you know. Okay, pile 3. So pretty cool messages coming through for you all. This pile definitely, like, mission here, soul purpose here is around spiritual work, without a doubt. Everything coming through, especially when I see like dragon energy coming through, they're just very wise and they are extremely spiritual beings. So, and very magical, obviously, very magical. So I just feel like 100% if you've chosen this pile, your purpose here has something to do with activating other people, helping other people activate or receive more downloads or memories or remembrances from past life. So what they are coming forward and saying to you, lots of stuff about nature here, and I think specifically sacred geometry. I think that just came out in another one. So maybe you watched more than one pile, and also being outside. And for this pile, I see specifically being in a garden or being in a park that has a lot of trees. It has green grass and it has green bushes, and maybe some of those bushes has flowers on it. But it feels very safe and it feels a little bit private. So if it's not actually your own garden where you can have some form of privacy, it is a park or a place that you are outdoors. There is grass, there is just an abundance of nature, but it's more private and you feel safe and at home there. So yeah, the sacred geometry coming forward. So this green gold dragon from Cyrus, they're talking about sacred geometry, and then in this sunshine yellow dragon card, they're talking about geometry, and they're talking about how, I don't know if you've already received an activation or a download, but you will at some point if you haven't, on how to use sacred geometry, and that you are going to use to help other people. I can see it happening in several different ways for this pile. I see it as either you will maybe be in some way, I don't know, it won't just be this, but I see you in front of like a group of people meditating and activating something within them. It could be something to literally activate like a healing stem cell within them or master stem cell within them. It could be you activating a chakra. It could be you activating an old knowledge within them. It could be honestly anything, but I see you activating something within them in this meditation group. Or I see that you could be doing things, some form of energy healing through using sacred geometry and activating essentially those cells to start repairing or growing as they should. And you will probably do this for yourself before you do it for others, but that's kind of what I'm being shown when I see this pile, that you and sacred geometry and activating in some ways something in others is going to be a thing that you do. And a lot of talk here around sharing soul wisdom and spiritual knowledge. Really, really cool stuff coming through. Very like Like I said, very powerful stuff, lots of like spiritual work going on. And what's the other thing I wanted to say? Oh, so there is this card here, Black Ascendian, says, have you been feeling scattered lately? Are you unable to focus on what's important? I think that's also one of those things where your guides are saying, go to that garden, go to that park. That's truly where you are at balance, where you are connected. If you're having a hard time like keeping your thoughts in order, do a meditation. I think for this pile, that is really important. That reconnects you with your higher self, with your guides, with your gut knowings. Like it really just rebalances you, and it makes such a difference. And you might have a lot of reluctancy around getting to do that meditation. You might find yourself being like, I don't have time, this or that. They're saying just do 10 minutes because you're going to be unproductive all day unless you do that 10-minute meditation. So although it might seem like you don't have that time, it's going to make you more time efficient throughout the day. That will make up for those 10 minutes. And then there is some reminder around gratitude here and receiving. There is a lot of heart chakra healing going on for this pile as well right now. So maybe that's something you're just aware of. And I think it's around receiving and giving in balance with each other. You might have had some experiences where you were guarding your heart, but that sometimes can create a little bit of a receiving block, is when we've protected or armored our heart. Like I said, you might already know that. I just came up here as a little message. So here it says, gratitude is the life force of peace. What are you thankful for? And I think this is just reminding you of like a daily practice of gratitude, just saying a few things, saying, I'm so happy and grateful for the love I receive. I'm so happy and grateful for my loving, like-minded friends. I'm so happy and grateful for my wonderful health. I'm so happy and grateful for my guides, whatever it is. They're just saying, really feel that. And because I do think there is a bit of a block around receiving, if you're saying gratitude, like, you notice how her hands are on her heart. I feel like that could be really important for you. And then if there's something that you're trying to manifest in, maybe take your hands like above your head and say, thank you, universe, for my like-minded soul tribe, or whatever it is that you're trying to manifest in. That's not a great example. And then just grab down with your hands and put it into your heart, if that makes sense. So you're reaching up above your head, you're thanking the universe for it, and then you're putting it into your heart. If that resonates, maybe consider that, because yeah, I do see a little thing around it receiving being blocked. So that's physically showing that you're taking what the universe is offering it and you're putting it into the heart. You're willing to receive it. And then this magenta dragon enables you to bring forward your soul wisdom, awaken your soul memories and higher spiritual understandings, prepare for accelerated ascension. So, if there you have it there. Be prepared for an accelerated ascension. So that's kind of what I was saying. Like, if you want to kickstart what you're doing, if you want to really get to the next level, it's saying go to those gardens, go to those places in nature. You even have green moss agate. Like, there's so much energy around being around nature. And when you meditate there, that's when you're going to be the most activated. That's when you're going to be receiving the most downloads. And I even think like memories from other cosmic lifetimes, I don't know, they're saying like knowledge from the cosmos. So I definitely think this pile as well probably has some starseed energy to it, probably not originally from here, but I think that's kind of what they're trying to say to me with that cosmic thing. I think they're trying to say, like, you're gonna remember what you already knew in some other lifetimes, in that knowledge that you were capable of having and holding space for in other bodies. So they're saying prepare for this, that this is going to be a lot. You might receive a lot of knowledge to the point where you need some time to just let it embody, let it really just digest, and might need to be gentle on yourself during that time. But I just think all this is coming forward because it's part of soul purpose for this pile, 100%. There's so much spiritual work, and like I was saying, I don't know how exactly you're going to be activating other people, but it is definitely coming forward. You're going to be doing really big things for other people. You're going to help people who are stuck, who aren't able to see, wake up and see and remember. It's really cool stuff. Okay, believe it or not, I think that's all I have for you. I feel like this this one went a little bit different than I thought for pile 3, but I felt like this was all stuff that you needed to know. Oh, I didn't actually really speak about this Sunshine Yellow Dragon card. It says, helps you to help animals, serve animals, heal, respect, and understand them. To me, that doesn't surprise me. I think you're going to be working on people, but I think anyone who is a healer, anyone who does any type of energy healing, naturally does end up around animals because they're very receptive to that kind of energy. So you might have a lot of pets. A lot of pets might come forward to you, and it's just saying, here I think is a little confirmation on maybe why they like you so much, is just that you have like this healing energy, you have this comforting energy to them, and they're saying like respect. Like I think you respect them, and on a soul level, they do feel safe around you. Okay, sorry, that was a cat coming in. All right, that's all I have for you all. You have a beautiful day. You are on a great, crazy adventure, it seems. Best of luck. You're going to do great things.